If you're taking IGCSE physics, that is CIE, and you are taking paper 5, you need to remember that there is question 4 that is usually about setting or coming up and or planning an experiment or planning an investigation. This question usually have 6 to 7 marks, and in any exam you must have such kind of a question. And for instance, here you are told a student investigate the time taken for water to evaporate to dryness when heated from above. Then the setup for that is shown here. So meaning that if we can be able to determine how at the height, we can be able to also measure how long it takes for this water to evaporate. The following apparatus are available. We are also the following are also available: supply of water at room temperature. We have a meter ruler. Then we have a heater which supplies heat at a constant rate, and we are supposed to plan an experiment to investigate how one factor affect the time taken for the water to evaporate. Now we need to identify for water to evaporate, there are different factors that can affect that. Number one is the height of the heater, because if this heater is actually a given height above this, the radiation that are reaching this depends on the height. So if it's close, more radiant heat is going to heat this water, and this water is going to evaporate to dryness. Another factor is the volume of water here. If you have a small volume of water, it will evaporate quickly. Also, we can talk about other factors like drought, wind blowing here. It can also affect the rate of evaporation. Even the surface area, how large the surface area of the dish is, that can also affect. But now we need to, in this experiment, you are supposed to investigate how one factor. Now for instance, I've chosen height as a factor that we're going to consider, and the rest we are again going to take them as control variables. So you don't need to write the precaution for this investigation, or you are not required to perform this investigation, but you need to come up with a procedure you can be able to use in order to explain this. You are supposed to state additional apparatus required. For this case, because I'm going to set an experiment like this one here, where I'm varying the position of the heater, and I'm going to time how long that is going to take the water to evaporate from different heights. So in that case, I need actually a stopwatch or a stop clock, or I need a chronometer. Of course, a chronometer is an instrument that is used to measure the time. So in your answer, you need to briefly explain how you do the investigation. And for this case, we are going to vary the height and measure how long it takes for the water to evaporate at that given height. So we keep on varying that, and we are going to develop a table of height in centimeters and time in seconds. So remember, in this question, always you are required, maybe to, if you're taking some measurement, you are required and expected to come up with a table that can be used to collect the data. Of course, the table, you don't have to fill that table at all. You are not required to fill that table, but you need to have the table, include the measurements that you are going, the units of measurements that you are going to use. And if possible, you can be able to draw a diagram. In fact, when you have a diagram drawn, it becomes very, very easy for you to explain what you are going to do. Now, for instance, I'm going to say that, say the apparatus are shown alongside, and I've tried to label some of the parts so that it can be very, very easy for the examiner to understand how I'm planning to perform this experiment. So now for that reason, my variables, one of the variables that I'm going to measure is the height. The height of where the heater is, and the level of water, so that I vary. Maybe say, if I say at height of 10 centimeters, at a height of 15 centimeters, at a height of 20 centimeters, I time how long does it take this water to evaporate at 10, at 15, and at 20. And now at that given point, you need also to mention, because you are told state the key variables that you will keep constant. Now, these are the one that you are keeping constant are those control variables, those that can be able to affect the experiment. Now, for my case here, what I'm going to keep constant, is the volume of water that I'm evaporating. So I have to ensure that that volume is constant. I should also avoid drought in this experiment, because if there is drought or a lot of wind flowing around, this is going to increase the rate of evaporation, and it's gonna affect the experiment. So whenever you are answering this question, try to figure out which are these variables which can be able to affect the experiment, right? And now you have to mention them, right? So you see, now I've just said the apparatus are shown using a measuring cylinder, measure a volume of water and put it in a dish. Adjust the position of the heater such that it's this. Now I'm just giving some examples, such that it's 15 centimeters from the base or the dish. Measure how long it's going to take for the water to evaporate to dryness. Then next, you are going to repeat the above and record the time taken throughout the experiment. And now you need to um, refer back to the table maybe that you have decided that you are going to fill in. Now, once you have collected the data, of course, you have given the table that is going to be used. You need to mention, you see, explain how you will use your reading to reach the conclusion. Maybe you can say you are going to plot a graph of height against time, and maybe probably you are going to get a straight line, which indicate that as you increase the height, also the time increases like that. So basically, this is how you answer this type of questions. Ensure that you are following this procedure that is here, so that you can be able to earn all the 7 marks. And if you have learned something from Profland YouTube channel, consider subscribing, so that anytime I'm going to upload another set of um, advice on this kind of paper 5 questions, you'll be notified. See you, and I wish you all the best in your coming exams.